Hi guys, today I am making a very traditional Georgian dish, soup Harcho. First we have to prepare our stock. We're gonna need some lamb, some onion, a carrot, couple bay leaves, and I'm using a combination of black pepper and coriander seeds. Put your lamb in a pot, drop in your seasonings, and we're gonna also put a carrot and an onion. And don't worry if these guys have skins on them. We just basically need them for flavoring. We're gonna fish them out later. Pour in some cold water, and you see these little buttons from the handles on the inside of the pot. I usually pour water right to those buttons. Put your pot on the stove and we'll come back to it later. To make our harcho, we're also gonna need an onion, 3 tomatoes, 2 carrots, a bunch of cilantro, some basmati rice, some garlic, 2 plums, and use the sour plums for this recipe, salt and pepper to taste. We're gonna need some chili paste, and this is a Georgian spice mix. It's called Hmeli-Suneli, which has just a different blends of spices. And we're also gonna need this sauce. It's a plum sauce. It's made out of plums. It's called Tkemali. And also some cumin seeds. Before we're gonna do all the prep work, we have to check on our stock. And before the boiling point, we have to take out this foam that forms on top of the stock. Just take it out as much as you can because we're gonna strain it later anyway, but it's better to take some of it out. Put some salt in, like a tablespoon of salt, a little bit of black pepper. Reduce the heat and let it simmer for an hour. We're going to use that sharp side to grate our tomatoes. And I know you could use probably a food processor, but this is how my grandmother used to do this soup, and then she finds it more efficient because look, if you are grating your tomatoes, the skin just comes right out and all you left is with the juice. Dice your onion into fine cubes and set it aside. I know it does take a little time to do all the prep work, but if you are using all the fresh ingredients, not the canned stuff, you will see the difference in the taste. Your soup is gonna taste so much better. Soup Harcho is so popular. You will find it on the menu of every single restaurant, not just in Georgia, but also in Russia, in Ukraine. We also need to chop our cilantro and just set it aside. I know it sounds strange. Plums in the soup? Yes, guys, we are gonna use plums. And I'm using the kind that is a little bit more sour rather than sweet. So just cut your plums maybe into little cubes. Next, we're gonna grate our carrots, and I am using that julienne grater. We need to saute our carrots and onions before we add them to the soup. So just add maybe a couple tablespoons of avocado oil, put your onions in, and slightly brown them. When the onions are ready, drop your carrots in and saute it just for a couple more minutes until everything is mixed and combined. And at this point we're going to turn off the heat and set the carrots and the onions aside. All the prep work is done, and I think we are ready to assemble our soup. We need to wash our rice. We have our carrots, we have our tomatoes, plums, cilantro, chili paste, some sauce, and some spices. So let's check on our stock. We need to discard all the vegetables we put in for flavorings. And we're gonna take all the meat out because we're gonna cut it into little pieces later and add it to the soup. And as you can see, I used two different cuts of lamb. I used the leg meat and I used some neck bones. And the neck bones are gonna add that richness to our stock. And if you can't get all these tiny little bits of meat out, it's okay because we are going to strain our stock. Just use the colander or strainer and just strain the stock, and as you can see there's still a couple little pieces of meat left and all this other stuff that we don't need. Return your stock back to the pot, and we're going to put the pot back on the stove and wait for it to boil. When the stock starts to simmer, add all your tomatoes in. And then we're going to add our rice, and be careful with the rice. Just add a little bit and see how it is. You don't want this soup to be too thick. Then we're going to add our carrots and onions and mix it. We're going to add our chili paste, and that's gonna add a little bit of spice to the soup. Our plums, and then 2 tablespoons of our Tkemali, which is a plum. It's a spicy plum sauce, but it's gonna add the most amazing taste to this soup. Let your soup simmer for maybe 20 minutes, and when the rice is ready, you can return that lamb meat back to the soup. Add your spices, which is Hmeli-Suneli, and then your cumin seeds. Hey guys, this is the trick I learned. You just rub your cumin seeds between your palms, and it brings more flavor to the dish. And then you can add your salt, your pepper. You can even put some cayenne pepper if you want your soup to be a little bit more spicier, and then add your cilantro. Turn off the heat and let the soup sit maybe for 10 minutes or so before we serve it. We're going to serve our soup in a rustic bowl and decorate it with some more slices of those beautiful plums and fresh cilantro, and you can serve it with pita bread or a traditional Georgian bread called lavash. Bon appetit, guys! Thank you so much for watching my video. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you soon.